It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast on this, the 10th day of October, 2025. Well, we've blown through a third of the month already. So glad you're with me this morning. A little bit to the light side on news, but we still have, a number of stories to go over. The lead story today is losing $1 billion weekly. Talk about that a bit. Also this morning, Norwegian cruise line ends drinks package used on Great Stirrup Cay. Disney secures agreement with Catalina Island. Unfortunately, we had a guest pass away from Disneyland. She was actually scared to death. I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. Port of Sydney clarifies cancellation. Parking limitations at Long Beach. And a medical evac by the Algerian Naval Forces. That and lots more here this morning at 11 o'clock on Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. Of course, today's show is brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and by Chilliescruises. And I am definitely in the market, folks, for a title sponsor for the show. And they would get a little piece of everything I do. So, just passing that along. All right, we also got to look at the weather today. And the weather is still a little funky on both sides. We'll start off with the Atlantic. We've got two tropical storms out there. Let's see if I can do this properly. All right, so we got Karen that's heading toward Europe and the North Atlantic. Karen is currently a tropical storm, actually now subtropical. It's still carrying 45 miles an hour. Pressure is up to 998 millibars. She's moving to the northeast at 9 miles an hour. That's expected to go away probably during the day today. The one that still can cause some problems is Jerry, which is down in the Atlantic near the islands. Still a tropical storm, however. Maximum sustained winds are 50 miles an hour. Pressure is at 1,006 and steady. It's moving to the northwest now at 17 miles an hour. And of course, it is nearby St. Kitts, which is where Elizabeth is on location. The warnings for that is heavy rainfall impacting portions of Leeward Islands, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico through today. Could result in flash flooding, particularly in urban areas. Tropical storm conditions, mainly gusts, could still affect portions of the northern leewards this morning. These conditions are expected to move and subside later today as Jerry moves away from the area. And Elizabeth reported in this morning as well and said she was getting lots of wind, but not so much rain. And let's see where that is. Let's see, so this. As you can tell, it's windy. The sea is rough, but not killer. But that was live this morning from St. Kitts. I wouldn't particularly want to be there right now. However, that should move out and it'll be nice there by this afternoon, probably. So that's going on in the Atlantic. Now, in the Pacific, let's back up over here and get to Pacific. We got 2 storms in the Pacific as well. You've got Priscilla that has been skirting along the coast of Baja California. Still a tropical storm. 50-mile-an-hour winds, 994 on the pressure, and steady. It's moving to the north at 6 miles an hour. Probably will come ashore anywhere along the line there on Baja California. Anticipate. That's what we're expecting. Raymond is newer to the south, carrying 60-mile-an-hour winds. Pressure's dropping as 998. It's moving to the west-northwest at 14 miles an hour. Tropical conditions are expected along portions of the coast of southwestern Mexico through tonight. Tropical storm conditions are possible and watch area along portions of Baja California Sur on Saturday. Heavy rainfall associated with Raymond will impact coastal sections of southwestern Mexico through Saturday, which could result in flash flooding, particularly in areas of high terrain. So it's basically going to follow the same path that the previous storm, Priscilla, took, and just skirt along the coast and just dump lots of rain and wind and surf and undertow and, just not be pleasant. Probably going to affect some more ships. I didn't mention, by the way, with St. Kitts, the Grand Princess was supposed to be there today, and they stayed out at sea, canceled the stop. So that's the latest on the weather. Issues on both sides of us. All right, so yeah, that gets us back to normal. All right. So we'll have a look at the news here, folks, after a quick break from one of those fine network sponsors. All right, guys, we're going to start things off today with a little talk about the shutdown. Nestor, what have you learned?
The U.S. travel economy has lost over $1 billion since the government shutdown began on October 1st, according to the U.S. Travel Association. The association, which advocates for laws that help the travel industry within the United States, warned about the economic impact of a potential shutdown in late September. A shutdown is currently costing the travel industry about $1 billion each week the government is closed. Norwegian Cruise Line is making a major change to its onboard beverage policy, and it's already sparking backlash from loyal guests. Effective March 1, 2026, the cruise line's More at Sea drink package will no longer be valid on Great Stirrup Cay, NCL's private island in the Bahamas. Until now, guests with the package enjoyed unlimited drinks both on the ship and while ashore at the private destination. The cruise line announced the change as part of an effort to transform the on-island experience. Complimentary beverages, like water, iced tea, and juices, will still be available free of charge for all guests on the island. New island-only drink package coming. To replace the current offering, NCL says a new drink package created specifically for Great Stirrup Cay will launch on January 1st. Details are still limited, but the new package will come at an additional cost and is designed to give guests flexibility to curate how they experience the great life on the island. While the cruise line frames the move as an upgrade to the guest experience, many cruisers aren't convinced. Initial responses from the cruise community have been overwhelmingly negative, with many accusing the cruise line of further nickel and diming passengers. NCL nickel and diming every chance they get. This is disgusting, one guest posted in a Norwegian cruise line Facebook group. Screw you Norwegian? This is a real money grab. Your cruises are already overpriced. Here we come Royal. Done with NCL, wrote another. Norwegian has yet to respond directly to the criticism, but the change is part of a larger pattern of operational and pricing adjustments seen across the cruise industry in recent months.
And in addition to that, folks, they're also doing away with one of the sheets on the beds. The top sheet's gone. And what else? They were doing something else silly. Oh yeah, you can only get, if you order room service, you can only get one hot and one cold item. I tend to agree with the nickel and diming thoughts myself.
Cruise around the world with the Will Model C2. That's the chair that I use. Our chairs will easily fit through accessible cabin doors and can navigate those tight spaces and crowded places. To see if Will may be right for you, click on the link below to schedule a test drive. Just tell them to use code CHILLIE for all your mobility needs. That's scootaroundstore.com.
Catalina Island's City of Avalon has just approved a preferential berthing agreement with Disney Cruise Line. For at least the next 5 years, Disney will get preferential scheduling when visiting the cruise port on Tuesdays all year and on Saturdays during select months. Making this a mutually beneficial agreement, Disney will pay a per-passenger fee to Catalina and will bring at least 120,000 cruisers to the island every year. Located just 22 miles off the coast of Los Angeles, Catalina Island has made a name for itself as a lovely cruise destination, especially for Baja and Mexico-bound sailings. The Port of Sydney, which is located in Nova Scotia, is clearing up confusion after Symphony of the Seas added and then quickly cancelled a port call. The port clarified that their 2 piers are safe and able to accommodate Oasis-class vessels, and that the visit was not cancelled due to the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Symphony of the Seas has no plans to attempt another visit at this time, but 3 other Royal Caribbean ships will be calling throughout the month of October. American Cruise Lines is preparing to launch a new Gulf Coast itinerary in March 2026, deploying the American Symphony, a vessel with capacity for 180 guests, on a route between New Orleans and Pensacola. The inaugural voyage is already sold out. The ship will call upon 6 ports en route: Gulfport, Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, and finally back to New Orleans. For information on this cruise, email chillie@bookalaska.net. A woman who suffered an unfortunate medical episode died soon after riding Disneyland's Haunted Mansion in Anaheim, California, police said. The woman in her 60s had just finished riding the Haunted Mansion attraction when the medical episode occurred. The woman, whom police did not identify out of respect for the family, was taken to a hospital where she was later pronounced dead. There will be a shortage of parking for 2 upcoming Carnival sailings at the Long Beach Cruise Port in California. The first impacted cruise will set sail onboard Carnival Radiance today, October 10th, with the second impacting Carnival Firenze's October 12th voyage. Guests are encouraged to find other means of transportation besides driving to the cruise port, or are warned that they may be redirected to an off-site parking facility. California's Long Beach Cruise Terminal, which is owned and operated by Carnival Cruise Line, has been the company's West Coast base for more than 20 years. Algerian Naval Forces executed a medical evacuation of a British passenger from the cruise ship Sky Princess while the vessel was navigating international waters off Algeria's northeastern coast. The operation took place as the ship sailed between Italy and Spain. Following the successful medical operation, Sky Princess resumed her scheduled course towards Spain, with cruise operations continuing as planned.
All right, here's today's cruise special from Alaska Travel Desk and Chillie's Cruises. This is the MSC Grandiosa that we've talked about this morning, sailing from Port Canaveral on December the 6th, 2025. Stops at Nassau, Ocean Key, Puerto Plata, and back to Port Canaveral. Inside cabins start at $469 per person. Solo cabins start at $664. If you'd like more information on the MSC Grandiosa cruise from Port Canaveral, call Alaska Travel Desk at 907-531-9140 or Chillie Cruises at 434-258-9264. MSC Grandiosa, sailing from Port Canaveral on December 6th.
And of course, a gang of us are going to be on the back-to-back sailings of the Grandiosa on February 7th and February 14th. Why not join us? Just give me a call. All right, that's going to put an end to the news portion of today's show. Let's check over in the chat room and see who's with us this morning. Joanne was first in the house this morning. Good morning, Joanne. Mike's with us on the other side of the pond. There's Roger down in Jacksonville. Kenneth says, good morning to everybody. Pennsylvania still in the 30s, supposed to get to 60, but he doesn't know about that. Hot Air Tom says hi to everyone. We're at CVS for COVID boosters and Cindy's second shingles shot. Kenneth says, I'm surprised they still have COVID shots. I don't know. I got mine a couple weeks ago. There's still COVID around, Kenneth, and as long as they have the boosters for it, I'm taking it, because even though I've had COVID a couple times, it's been very mild. I will continue to take them as long as they're making them. Gretchen's with us out in Ohio. Hi, Gretchen. Well, the Northeasterner mess up Canadian cruises this weekend. Bonnie is on her way to Brooklyn to board a Princess ship tomorrow. Yeah, well, it's, who knows? It's a possibility. Kenneth asked if Mike's hitting any snow yet. I don't think so. There's about 1/8 of an inch of frost this morning when he went to therapy. That's up in Pennsylvania. There's Eli. Elizabeth says, hi, all gusty day here at St. Kitts. Yes, just got Wi-Fi restored. Grand Princess skipped us today. Yes, I reported all that, my dear. But it's good to have you in the audience again. Always nice to have Elizabeth when she can pop in. Mike says, I was invited by my local family practice for COVID and flu vaccination, but I felt I couldn't get there. I canceled, but couldn't rebook. NHS COVID rules changed. Vax only available for over 75s. Wow. Elizabeth says the weather there is worse than she thought it would be. But they're right on the waterfront. Bob is with us, says, good morning, gang. Hi, Bob. Have a great weekend, everybody. Tom has ambassador for Norwegian. Better look into those complaints. I think Royal Caribbean prices are higher than Norwegian's. Well, it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at the new, behemoth ships, the icon of the seas and star of the seas, yeah, they're more expensive. But if you're looking at the regular line, that's been around a while, you can find some pretty decent bargains with Royal. Of course, the thing I like about Royal is I don't have to worry about a drinks package because I think it's 6 drinks a day or something, and that's enough for me. So I'm looking at a couple possibilities on Royal. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away before my cruise in February, but I'm checking into some possibilities maybe for January. I'm probably not going to get out again before the end of the year due to issues here at home. So we'll see. Kenneth says, I can't remember when I was on Carnival Cruise Line when we went the Half Moon as the drinks package from Cruise Line was covered. Oh, yeah, the Half Moon Key. This is. I can understand why people are going to complain about that. When we went I've been to Great Stirrup Cay several times, and your drinks were always covered by your drinks package. And now they're going to come out with a special drinks package just for the island. That's nickel and diamond, folks. I mean, they're already charging enough for the drinks package, or they wouldn't offer it. Mike says no snow yet over on the other side of the pond, just autumn weather. Elizabeth says, smash the thumbs up, everyone. Thank you, Eli. I do appreciate that. Joanne says, I'll be getting the flu shot, not doing COVID anymore. Heart arrhythmia after shots 2 and 3. Can't risk anymore. Well, now that I can understand, Joanne. If it was funkying with my heart, I wouldn't take it either. So, but it's not, so I'm going to take it. But I certainly, if I was in your boat, I wouldn't either. There's Steve. Steve says, hey to me and everybody. Roger, we went to Mr. Fish last night. It was really good. Nice, Steve. Always good to send some folks to have some seafood in Roger's family. That's great. I enjoyed it too when I was there. So, good food. All right, guys, that's going to put an end to me today. I am going to be I didn't tell you my tale of woes. When I got off the show on Wednesday, excuse me. Sorry about the cough. When I got off the show on Wednesday, I thought I better call and check on my car before I drive down there. It's a good thing I did. It's not ready. They want it now till next Tuesday. They really didn't give me a reason why I didn't want to ask. That's still within the framework of when they said they were going to have it to start with. I thought I had impressed them that they were going to get it done early. But that didn't work out. So I still have the rental car, which means I can't go anywhere because I can't take my chair. So, parts and tariffs, Gretchen says. That's a good possibility that these were that I got caught up in the supply chain. I don't know. They didn't say that, and I didn't ask. But yes, I'm hearing that from a number of sources. So, and I'm okay with that. It's done. It's what it is. I canceled the cruise. I can't get back on it anyway. So that's all right. I'll make up for it. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. As always, like Elizabeth said, smash that thumbs up button. Take this as my invitation to join us. Just subscribe to this channel. It costs you nothing. Helps me out a lot. We're having some nice movement in the in subscriptions. We were kind of stale there for about a month, and then things took off again. So always glad to welcome some new folks, have some new folks in the audience. If you are new, feel free to jump in the chat room, tell us who you are, where you're from, and become part of the chatting family. They all get in the chat room and talk to each other and pay absolutely no attention to me or anything I have to say. So that's just the way we roll on Chillie's Cruises. So, anyway, I'm just teasing, of course. All right, guys. That's it for the weekend. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. Those of you that are traveling, be careful. There's funky weather around every place. So just don't get into trouble. And don't, if things get canceled or shuffled around, make the best of them, not the worst. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see everybody back here Sunday or over the weekend if something major happens. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great weekend, everybody, and a fantastic Friday. Until next time, this is the Fat Guy, out.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.